What is Lazada and Shoppe? It's an online market where you buy and sell your items or products online that you wanted for a long time, or the item that you needed at the moment, which they deliver by a partner delivery service like LBC or JT Express for Shopee, LEX for Lazada, and so on. Lazada is founded in 2012 by Maximilian Bittner, which was backed up the Rocket Internet and owned by a group called Alibaba in 2014. And Lazada, which they claim that they are top the e-commerce platform in Southeast Asia, with more than $50 million annually in the year of 2019. And it's a Singapore company which I always thought it was a Philippine company, which was so commonly used by people in our country. They have grossly earned around $650 million, or convert that to our current currency in our country. This is around 31 billion 538 million 325,000 pesos. Shoppe is also a Singapore company and also e-commerce platform or an online shopping, which launched in their home country in the Singapore and later branched out to other countries, the Philippines. Shoppe was founded in 2015, which their parent company is C Group. It's a C Group which was called Garena. But now they are later rebranded to C Group. And last year they have grossly earned around 3.8 billion in 2019. Convert that to our currency in the Philippines or a whopping 184 billion 320 million 900,000 pesos. Why did Lazada and Shoppe get so relevant this year? Because one of the reasons they get so relevant this year is the pandemic of COVID-19 outbreak, which led all services to digital, like fast food, online classes, and shopping, which is why Lazada and Shoppe are highly in demand, which their business has been booming lately. Both are online shopping, which are both consumer to consumer and business to consumer business model, which are both benefits to consumer. Both are digital business and partner delivery service, which they can pay the delivery directly without hiring people for delivering the items to the consumer. Both has a similar user interface, which are easy to use and have a huge library of items. But why are these two the kings of online shopping service and not other online shopping service out there? Because one thing they got, which others hasn't, is targeted ads, which they aggressively use it to either download the app from the Play Store or redirects you to the website. Shoppe and Lazada uses these ads in Facebook's Google Ads, which collects the data on you, where you have been, or what you search, or how much did you stay in that site, which give you a similar items that you are searching or looking at. But Lazada takes this one step further than Shoppe, which they have ads that are aggressively forcing you to the App Store and Google Play Store, or redirects you to the website. And they have ads on a very shady website, which has a pirated movies and animes and other things, which actually works. Which actually works for them. Look how much Lazada is winning this year in the Philippines. And I've been using Lazada because of their shady practices on their ads, which is like being printed in your brain on how many ads you get. And the implication of their apps is very technological centric because of their incompetence sells both consumer to consumer and business to consumer model of the items that are being sold through the internet. Well, that's enough of Lazada and Shoppe. Let's hope that we can get into the last topic. The topic is when a video game trend became a genre, which I'm gonna talk about how Metroid and Castlevania and Dark Souls influenced the development of the upcoming years of game developing. So let's start. The Metroidvania. Metroidvania is a trend that started at Metroid and Castlevania series, which is a side-scrolling platformer action adventure game, which Metroid is made by Nintendo and has a sci-fi theme, while Castlevania is made by Konami and has a supernatural approach to this, but have a similar style. The style of their game is where you explore the castle or the base of enemy. While you're exploring the castle, you encounter a monster or a creature which you can fight or run away. But once you enter a certain room, you might have to fight a huge monster. A creature that has a huge health bar, and in order to kill one of them you must memorize the pattern of the boss and wait for the opening to strike. When the boss died, there's a chance that you can get an item which helps you for the next floor or the next stage. And there is a variety of checkpoints in the castle or the base of the aliens, so watch out of it. It helps in some items it helps you recover your health, and checkpoint has a which saves your game, which when the next time you die you respawn there. This style of game became a trend which sparks a huge development in 1980s. So they milked their game so much that which is almost a 20 game in the main franchise and has various spin-offs and a game and spawned thousands of similar games in this time, which became so popular that it became a genre which birthed the Metroidvania genre. It evolves into in the recent year, and the games that is in the Metroidvania genre are Ori and the Blind Forest, Holy Knight, and the Dead Cells. Now for Hideaki Miyazaki's pet project, which flops in Japan and almost destroyed their chances on making another game in that franchise. And that game is called Demon Souls. And it's all started in which Sony, a tech company, instructed the From Software to develop a new IP which rivals the Elder Scrolls, which is a game about first-person RPG where you choose any roles and switch roles at any time at everywhere. But the problem of From Software are they are developing 3 games at the same time: Armored Core, Ninja Blade, and Demon Souls, which Demon Souls takes a huge hit in the staff management. Their staff is so low that they're developing the game, which the first director of the game vanished into oblivion, which the team has no direction now. And Hideaki Miyazaki saw an opportunity to direct the game, where they just finished, where Hideaki Miyazaki finished developing the Armored Core game, and and Hideo Miyazaki begs the higher ups from software to let them direct the game, which the higher up agrees because the game is already failing and it's already considered a failure to Sony, and let Miyazaki do anything in the game and anything in the game, which he changed the game into a medieval dark fantasy game other than a fantasy oriented RPG like Elder Scrolls. And the POV isn't a first person view anymore, ditching it to a third person view only, and they crank up the difficulty to 11, which the game tester hated it, and only a few handful of the game tester finished the demo. But Hideaki Miyazaki stick to the game's difficulty, and when the game was released, it was estimated that it will sold 100,000 copies, but sadly that copies was only sold around 20,000, which Sony and From Software has no little faith in that game development, and they still was disappointed on how much it sold. But the fate suddenly smiles at them. They still have a chance that it can be released in the West, which can save the franchise. An example of it in sudden a game that flops in Japan and being huge in the West is the No More Heroes series, but fate suddenly stops them again, where the head of the independent developer initiative of Sony played the game and put the nail in the coffin of getting its chances of releasing on the game. But a bunch of YouTubers imported the game to the West, which sparks a interest on the game. So Bandai Namco saw this and Bandai Namco let From Software be published under them and be sold in the West. So and it sold around 100,000 copies, which Bandai Namco saw another opportunity, which they asked From Software to make another game that is similar to that Demon's Souls, because Demon's Souls are Sony only game and From Software developed a game similar to it, and it's called Dark Souls, and which Dark Souls became so popular that it spawned another sequel, was sold a great amount, and while Sony regretted their actions of not importing the game outside Japan, they asked From Software again to make a brand new game which is similar to Dark Souls, and it was called Bloodborne. Now Hideo Miyazaki became the president of From Software. And that's so what makes this game so special, because of the uniqueness of the gameplay for Dark Souls, and capitalizing what is popular at that time, which spawned their own genre. Dark Souls especially capitalized this trend that started from Dark Souls uh, that started for the Dark Souls is for their punishing difficulty and satisfying gameplay, which spawns so many similar games. And an example of it is called Bane, which has anime aesthetics, and Star Wars Jedi The Fallen Order, which has a Star Wars Star Wars universe in it, and Neo, and it is a series of which has a samurai theme but Dark Souls, and all of them are so hard. So so the trend of so the trends that make them unique and and capitalizing the sci-fi and monster and, monster and vampires into their own genre.